This is part of my series on skills to build in the age of AI. So here's what high EQ looks like at work, and it's not what you think. Most people think that EQ means just being warm and agreeable, and it's not. It means doing the hard thing well. Here are 3 real examples and how to practice them. Hi, my name is Debbie. I am a digital psychologist and I decode psychology so you can use tech smarter. So, example 1. So, let's say that you're in a meeting and someone pushes back on your idea and you immediately feel this tightness in your chest. So, somebody with a low EQ may actually just get super defensive and then just shut down. We all know somebody like that, or we may have been like that ourselves. So, let's flip that. Someone with a high EQ notices their physiological reaction, takes a pause, and says, "What's driving your concern?" instead of protecting their ego. So, a really quick practice is think about a time where this has happened and identify what were the bodily signals that you felt right before you reacted. This builds a lot of emotional self awareness because you cannot have that pause if you cannot recognize the emotional reaction. So, example 2, you have a colleague that is constantly missing deadlines and you have to pick up the slack. So, somebody with a low EQ may just be super frustrated and just start venting to everyone and talk about how horrible their colleague is. Somebody with a high EQ may approach this very differently. Instead of venting to everybody else, they might actually approach that person and say, "Hey, I've noticed X. Is there something going on?" You notice the pattern, you address it without accusation. It's not passive aggressive. You are just transmitting data and you're trying to get information. So, how can you practice this? So, the next time you're frustrated with somebody, get very specific. So, take a pause and think, what triggered you? What needs of yours are not being met? That type of precision is a skill. So, example 3, you're in a conversation and the other person goes, "Yeah, sure, that works." And you notice that their tone has shifted a little bit and they hesitated before answering. With low EQ, you might just accept it at face value and move on. Somebody with a high EQ may catch the hesitation and realize that there's a mismatch between what they said and how they reacted. And so then you follow up later and say, "Hey, I just want to make sure in our conversation earlier, did that actually work for you?" So practice this. In your next meeting, maybe you're not the one speaking, you're just watching as people are talking. Notice their facial expressions, notice their tone and how they respond, and see if you can get better at picking up some of those cues. So in summary, EQ is a set of skills that you build up with reps. In the next one, I'll actually share a cheat sheet on how you can use AI to practice improving your EQ.